Hello everyone. This is my Christmas Eve workout. Turns out gym is open on Christmas Eve. It just closes around lunchtime, which doesn't really matter to me because I was working, or I was scheduled to work from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m., which means I had to try to get my workout done super early in the morning before going to work, which for me meant I was going to be very, very cold. I had only been awake about 25 minutes when I started this workout. I think I got up, no, I was awake slightly longer than that. I got up around 4:20 and put my long underwear on right away because I couldn't find any sweatpants. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to be wearing those shorts anyway. Let's just keep the long underwear on. It'll be nice and warm in them. I'm not going to have time for a shower anyway. So I'll go to work and I'll be nice and toasty, blood flowy, good to go-y, etc. I tried to keep the hooded sweatshirt on, but it got way too warm way too fast. And it turns out that that sweater is too small for me. That's why the hood was like so tightly around my head and pulling the whole sweater up. I probably would have kept it on, but having the hood across my shoulders when I'm trying to set up for a squat is just more trouble than it's worth. I neither want a pussy pad nor do I want to fuss around with trying to get the hood to hang over the bar, because I like to shimmy a little bit when I'm setting up, and just having it in the way was too annoying for me. The sets themselves went okay. I think I mentioned last time that I accidentally repeated a workout for my squats. So this workout represented a 10-pound jump compared to the last one. And I didn't really notice too much of a difference. It wasn't a big issue for me to do so. I think my progression is probably slower inherently than a lot of other novice programs. I think other novice programs have you increasing squat by 10 pounds per workout and then have you deload sooner. But I don't feel like I would recover from that. The reps in reserve or the exhaustion parameters that I'm following, I'm pretty much guaranteed to hit all my reps. I'm not too worried about getting fives until I'm over 200 pounds on my squats. So that counting all the reps for the sets is kind of a given for me. And once I start missing reps, that's when I'm going to reset anyway. So tracking reps is kind of pointless for me. What I track instead are my reps in reserve. And I have my weight increases titrate based on what my recovery suggests. So if I have a goal of all of my work sets, my not just my work sets on squats, but all of my 5x5 work. That's not accurate either. All of my main lifts have a target for 2 reps in reserve. So for an exercise that has 5 sets times 2 reps in reserve, that's 10 reps in reserve at the end of the workout, at the end of that exercise. So if I record my reps in reserve and they are equal to that 10 target, then I increase the weight by 5 pounds. If it's below that, I don't actually stay at the weight. I just jump smaller. So I do a 2.5-pound jump for squat. I haven't done that yet. I haven't needed to. I've actually been right on track with the 2 reps in reserve for 5 sets. And then if I go over that, then I'll do a 10-pound jump. But I haven't actually gotten close to needing that yet. And I think that indicates that I estimated what my start weight for squat was correctly. But on everything else, I kind of lowballed. And I mean, I guess I didn't lowball on deadlifts either because I hadn't been doing them for so long or I hadn't been training them for so long. I've been trying to do them, but I haven't been realizing that I have a hip structure that I forgot that. Okay, so when I used to deadlift, I didn't think about my hip structure. I just did what was comfortable. and it worked. However, when I started running this past year, I tried to change my foot position so that my foot would always be pointing forward rather than out to either side. So, like that duck foot position, I've been trying to correct that in my daily walking and running because I feel like that's going to be better for my knees in the no pun intended long run. I actually did start to notice inside knee pain when I tried to run without correcting for that. However, when I'm squatting or deadlifting, my knees are going to want to track out. So if I don't point my toes out, they actually try to bow out away from the angle of my feet. So I forgot about that though. So when I'm trying to set up for deadlifts, I'm actually getting in the way of myself. Like my hip structure doesn't allow them to hinge enough when my feet are pointed forward to correctly achieve depth for grabbing the bar. I have to round my back to reach it. And I realized with part of my deadlift setup that if I just remember to touch my arms with my knees before I start the pull, my feet will sort themselves out. As long as I have the bar over midfoot and then I touch my arms with my knees, I don't have to think about it. It just works. And the way that would fall apart is if I would like grip too narrow or really far apart, I guess. But I will never do a narrow grip deadlift, and I will probably do snatch grip deadlifts at some point, but not for a long time. Not until I'm doing Olympic lifting, and I still haven't been able to set up a proper date with my coach for that. So that's basically on the back burner for the foreseeable future. But besides those two lifts, all of my pressing, my benching, and my barbell rowing have all been a lot easier than projected, but I haven't been increasing the weight faster on those exercises anyway, just because, partially because I don't want to reset sooner. I don't want to have to do a deload until I would like unimpeded progress all the way up to all the way up to a 2-plate bench. That'd be great. But at least up until a 1-plate bench, because I know I can bench 1 plate for a single or a triple pretty easily. I have that in the back of my mind. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm just adapting to increased volume and ramping the weights up. So the weights have all felt easy, but the total workload is quite significant compared to what I've been doing previously. So in this way, I'm putting on a little bit more muscle mass, and I'm giving myself a little wiggle room for not necessarily technique flaws, but just some dirtiness if fatigue sets in or something like that. And while I've been making all of those excuses for deadlifts, with the barbell row, I really like that compared to a pendlay row, which I'm told the pendlay row has more carryover to the deadlift, and I'm sure that's great. But I like the bent over row, which I've never done before this training phase, because I never feel the impact on my elbows from from not dropping the bar, but from the bar contacting the floor. It like rattles my arms or something, and it doesn't feel good. But also, I'm not supposed to use any hip drive when I'm doing a pendlay row, maybe to get it started off the floor, to break it off the floor, but then you're doing the row. With the bent over row, still not supposed to do hip drive or anything, but you'll notice at the beginning of every set, I deadlift the weight off the floor, and that gives me an extra rep of deadlift practice. And today, or I guess on Christmas Eve, I didn't have a lot of time, so I cut out all my accessory work and I cut out 1 set of barbell rows, and it occurred to me that this is actually a great idea because it will normalize my workout durations to have 4 sets of rows after 1 set of deadlifts, because that's together 5 by 5 of pulls. But also, it's almost like a drop set because it's considerably lighter weight, and I'm still getting some technique practice by doing additional deadlifting here. It's obviously only 4 additional reps, but I think that treating it, I'm already fatigued, so the lighter weight, even though it's obviously lighter, gives me an opportunity to take it seriously and then also get a little more back work in. So that's it for Christmas Eve. Thanks for hanging out, and Merry Christmas.